Hi everyone, my name is Amani Trammell and this is my presentation on the country Panama. Hope you guys enjoy. In Panama, the official name is actually Republic of Panama. The capital of Panama is Panama City, and the official language is Spanish, but people also do speak English in the country. As in a lot of countries, the people of Panama are very diverse. 70% are Mestizo, 40% are Amerindian and West Indian, 10% are white, and 6% are Amerindian. The country Panama has many popular sites such as the inactive volcano Baru, and the country has more than 1,600 islands such as the Pearl Island. As for animals, the country has anteaters, sloths, jaguars, deers, giant sea turtles, and migratory birds. In the country Panama, its natural resources vary from copper, mahogany, shrimp, and hydropower. The primary crops are bananas, rice, corn, coffee, sugarcane, vegetable, livestock, and shrimp. Before the 1600s, a number of indigenous groups inhabited the Isthmus of Panama. The largest indigenous people were the Nagobi Boljai. But until this day, the people of Cuna and Choco still live in Panama. The first European to set foot on the isthmus was a man named Rodrigo de Vestidas. He was a Spanish conquistador, and this was in 1501. He was born in 1445 in Spain, and he died on July 28, 1527, in Cuba. The first stable Spanish settlement was Nombre de Dios, which was established by Diego de Nicuesa in 1509. This settlement included 20 people of African descent brought as slaves. This establishment originated from Santo Domingo in what is now New Day, Dominican Republic. In the early 1500s, it was common to bring enslaved Africans to the isthmus. Spanish settlers used the slaves to perform the bulk of demanding manual labor. In 1519, Governor Pedrarias Davila founded Panama City, which back then was known as the colony Castilla del Oro. In the newly found city, Davila forced slaves to build churches and construct new buildings, and they worked in agriculture. By 1530, the population of Isthmus included more than 200 African slaves, according to Luis Diaz Castillo, who is a Panamanian historian. The indigenous people were used as slaves after they were conquered, but the Spaniards really relied more on the African slaves. Panama became a strategic point for trade and transport because of its central location. The country's importance grew within the 1530s following the Spanish conquest of Peru. The gold and silver in Peru led to increased traffic between Spain and western South America. By the mid-1500s, slave revolts ensued under the leadership of men such as King Bayano, Felipillo, Pedro Luis, and Anton Mandingo. Many blacks fled to the thick jungles of Panama. Fugitive slaves also frequently raided Spanish settlements for their weapons and merchandise. By the early 17th century, the local population included a number of freed persons. In 1610, Panama's population included 146 free mulattoes, 148 free blacks, and 3,500 black slaves. The crown discovered Spanish men engaging in sexual relations with blacks and indigenous. A royal decree in 1789 ordered all owners of slaves to teach Catholicism to their slaves, to provide for a day of rest, and to ensure proper food and clothing and shelter. The decree also ordered all slaves to show deference to their owners. By the early 19th century, the independence movement led by Simon Bolivar had weakened Spain's political control in the Americas. Subsequently, Panama lost commercial and trade activity in the previous 2 centuries. November 28, 1821, Panama gained independence from Spain, and slavery was abolished in 1851. Throughout the 1800s, there was an economic boom with gold. This then created the Panama Canal, which was first started by the French, but the U.S. took over and completed. Because of the deal made with the U.S. and Panama, this included protection of their independence in 1903. People from all over came to help with the project. In the 20th century, Panamanians resented the higher wages of West Indians who worked in the Canal Zone. In 1926, they even created laws limiting immigration from non-Spanish-speaking countries. The Constitution in 1941 denaturalized all descendants from West Indies and Chinese, but it was later overthrown in 1946. In Panama, racial categories and the census taken are not included, but the discrimination towards West Indians continued. In 1999, a group of Panamanian students staged racial discrimination protesting outside of popular nightclubs, but a bill that was passed the same year trying to prevent racial discrimination failed. Despite the racial discrimination, West Indian descendants have attained positions of prominence. A museum for Panamanian West Indians was founded in 1980, and as well as a Society of Friends for MAAP was founded, which is an organization that sends cultural, educational, and political leaders for the West Indian communities